Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I am Daffy Duck here once again and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Team Sonic Racing for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and of course PC Steam versions. So last time we have basically just managed to able to complete it some more challenges or specifically some missions in Journey Films of Chapter 5. And overall, we actually did that pretty good, actually. At least, way more better performance than the forms of how it does it on, the previous, few episodes ago. But either way, though, still regardless of such, though, we did that pretty alright. So today for this episode, we're also able to actually say this right now, we can able to hopefully try to wrap things up in Chapter 5. And eventually, once we're done with Chapter 5, well, we'll also hit on to Chapter 6. So of course, before we get started, let's head on to the actual race in Roulette Road.
We're really doing well out there, wouldn't you say?
I would say you are here for other reasons besides winning.
What? No, I'm totally here to win the money.
Vector, I am a princess. People lie to me daily. It is my job to find the truth so I know who I can trust.
Not too shabby, princess. All right, you got me. Truth is, I'm here because Tails contacted me when they first met this Dodonpa guy. He wanted me to get the dirt on him.
And?
Work in progress.
And yes, speaking of Roulette Road, is the fact that as far as when I see those brackets around, this is going to be mirrored variation, so we have to get used to with the actual mirrored variation, you know, just like in the forms of, you know, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, basically, so except the fact that we don't race against with the rest of the Sega characters cast or anything like that, so... Anyways, let's begin this particular race, even though, again, most of these dialogues are pretty much exactly the same as the forms of how it does it on the previous mission, but regardless of such though, I think we should be pretty okay as it is. So, anyway though, obviously today's day is of course the 10th of November today, in this case in 2020. So recently today is the fact that the Xbox Series X, and not only Xbox Series X, but also Xbox Series S is also released today. So as far as what I've seen, the actual review so far, in terms of the Xbox Series X / Xbox Series S, well, let's mention about the forms of Series X first, because that was the more of a, the popular thing as far as the next generation of consoles, as far as I'm aware. First of all, before we get onto that, I think I do actually kind of prefer, the actual name of the actual system, because, well, usually relatively speaking, that I'm not a big fan of Xbox One to begin with, because for one, I found that name to be kind of dumb. Well, thankfully in Xbox Series X though, it just makes things a little bit sense to me. Well, usually for the most part, because either way though, that's the thing I would like to see, something more to it in terms of the Xbox Series themselves, or something like that for that matter. And from what I've seen the actual IGN review of that particular Xbox Series X, so far the review score is actually really good. It was actually 8 out of 10. So I would say there's a mild step forward in terms of the forms of, well, I wouldn't even just try to able to compare that to Xbox One, because I know for the fact there has been a very, very long time. So I actually since I did manage to look upon, you know, Xbox One since 2013, despite I still find that name to be kind of dumb, and all other stuff like this. And as far as the forms of Xbox Series S is concerned, it definitely feels a little bit of a letdown compared to the forms of how it does it, or one step down compared to the forms of how it does it on Series X, because obviously Series X can only play discs and I believe also digital stuff as well. Whilst in the forms of Series S, it's more accurately digital only. So because of that though, definitely a little bit of a letdown, but apart from those side things though, it still has the same features as the forms of Xbox Series X actually has to have. So yeah, very pleased about that for specific reviews and stuff like that in terms of you know, obviously Xbox Series X, although, relatively speaking, is the fact that until this Friday, actually, eventually, is the fact that, this Thursday, as far as, some countries for that matter, the PlayStation 5 is also getting itself its release, and during at some point this week, only in America and all the other countries, except for our UK country, because we have to wait until about, let's just say, lesser than 9 days to go at this point. So, in fact, let me know in the comments below about the fact that what would you like to get in terms of the next generation of consoles. Do you want to get either the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5? Personally speaking, we've pretty much gone unknown for this point at this point, because, well, as far as you guys should already know, is the fact that the actual stockings between Xbox Series X as well as the PlayStation 5 at this point is still basically unavailable on the forms of the Amazon website so far, which is kind of a shame really, because either way though, as far as I'm aware, that as far as what I believe Sonic and Knuckles slightly mentioned about this ever since in their Super Smash Bros. Let's Play. Actually, I'll get to more on that later because, well, obviously this mission is accomplished.
So, did you find anything out?
SBO and Charmy are following up on a few things for me. We should get their report soon. Then we'll see who this Dodonpa guy really is.
So yeah, we now only have one mission left in terms of Chapter 5, and, well, looks like we've not only got ourselves all 3 stars, but also we've managed to able to get ourselves our key. So, that's all for that one. And of course, we're going to be heading over to the survival race in Journey Forms of the Hidden Volcano. I think we've already been there before, ever since the ring challenge and stuff, so yeah, let's play as Shadow, the ultimate life form.
What's all that yelling about?
Those Chow in the stands are going crazy! What are they pointing at? Is somebody hiding over there?
It's that big guy again. I wonder if he knows where my Froggy Cloud went.
Chow. Disgusting creatures.
Zavok! This just keeps getting better and better. And by better, I mean worse. Is he with you, Eggman?
What? No! I'm totally shocked that he's here, and I totally didn't ask him to do a secret task for me or anything. Since you're here, Zavok, you might as well race on my team.
I hope Zavok likes losing.
I heard that.
Why do you always keep the mic button held down?
I like buttons.
Whoa, so it looks like that Zavok is now gonna be joining the actual team Dr. Eggman after all, because obviously Dr. Eggman, well, trying to tell Zavok to able to join his team as opposed to our team, which is pretty obvious because he's the leader of the Deadly Six. Even though some people might found it a little bit too much of a problematic for Zavok in Journey Forms all throughout the years, because usually most fans out there expecting to mention about the fact that Zavok is just a very generic, you know, Deadly Six villain, of course, which is very understandable, especially noticeable because, for whatever reasons, that some players manage to keep on saying the Red Teletubby or something like that, which I have no idea why they've mentioned about that specific stuff though, but that's as far as I can usually think about it. But let's not talk about that because we're just playing a Sonic game after all. So, but either way though, we'll just go ahead and use some wisps every once in a while, and still I just keep on getting stunned, but luckily I can able to give myself my invincibility item, so at least that way I can able to actually just try to avoid, you know, a lot of hazards, including forms of some of these items that some players might able to throw at you. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty much going to be okay from this, so although, aside from the fact that, as far as you noticed already, is the fact that I do apologize for that particular jump cut, as you saw, for about a few seconds ago. this is pretty obvious because, again, that I did manage to practice this particular stage on my own time on the PS4 version, but somehow I just never seemed able to actually memorize it, so... But either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves because, you know, we're now probably going to be racing on to the forms of Hidden Volcano for quite some time actually, because even though technically speaking we've already come across into this track from before, ever since in Journey forms of one of those ring challenges as far as I'm aware, that so it seems that overall we didn't have a very good time at it though, sadly. But at least now we can able to do the proper racing in the Hidden Volcano. And is it just me? Is that particular beginning portion of the track seems familiar to you? Well, yes, because it is exactly identical to the Bowser's Castle track, specifically in Mario Kart 8 variation, because otherwise it usually takes place in a lava and stuff like that, even though it does have some combined elements with some ice physics here and there as well. Even though this is generally the third icicle-themed track as far as this is concerned, even though despite the fact that there are some lava stuff all around it, but usually relatively speaking is the fact that if you drive onto the lava, it will slow you down, or to be more specifically, you will get hurt by that, or, well, just slows you down temporarily, unless if you actually have yourselves the fly type character like Rouge here, that basically she can able to actually just avoid getting slowed down every now and then. But either way though, that's all I can really just try to say about this for the most part, so... But yeah, aside from the fact that with the the Xbox Series X has been recently released today, actually, and I felt incredibly sorry for you guys if the fact that if you desperately want to give yourselves, you know, PlayStation 5 as well as Xbox Series X, assuming if there are some future titles coming out for it, for specifically imagine if there's going to be a new Sonic game on the horizon during at some point during God knows when, like either 2021 or anything else like that. If you imagine if some of those, like let's just say a Kingdom Hearts game or a Crash Bandicoot game, or even especially noticeable with the Sonic game is about to be later on revealed, during forms of the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X reveal. But the good news about the PlayStation 5 though is the fact that for what I've saw the actual trailers as well as some how to do tutorial videos and stuff like that, like transfer data and some stuff like that. Thankfully the PlayStation 5 does have its backwards compatibility, which is of course the PlayStation 4. Even though it kind of sucks that it does not have backwards compatibility along with PlayStation 3, 2, and 1 during on the PlayStation 5 console, because it seems pretty obvious because obviously they just want to able to do like a combination of, you know, 5 and 4 in the forms of that particular console itself. So anyways, let's go ahead and keep on drifting along and hopefully grab some rings in the process and just to not get slowed down. So, but either way though, that's all I can really say about this for the most part. So yeah, think of like, if I was going to be excited for the next Sonic game, hopefully a good one actually, as opposed to disappointing Sonic Forces, or especially notable for okay time on this, but then again though, I'll talk more about my final thoughts of this game during at some point whenever we finish up with, I don't know, Grand Prix or Team Adventure mode, depending if, you know, time schedules and stuff like that. But then again though, we've only just, you know, pretty much almost there for the sake of, you know, Team Adventure mode as it is. So, anyway, so now we've managed to win the actual elimination race, and I think that pretty much wraps it up in terms of Chapter 5.
I can't believe you were discovered. You're obviously not the master of hiding. Did you at least get the thing we talked about?
No, it has eluded me. It is clearly kept in an unknown location.
Really? You think? I'm surrounded by idiots. I hope you race better than you hide.
And yes, much like in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, Zavok's voice actor is actually a lot different compared to what we used to since Sonic Lost World, and especially noticeable with Sonic Forces. But then again, I don't know if it is to be more specifically because of its age or something from the previous actor, but oh well. Anyways, let's get on to the next chapter, which appears to be chapter 6, the kidnapping. And to begin with, we're going to be hitting back onto the forms of that particular, well, Sandstorm track, and just do with a team race.
Wow, this race is getting more and more brutal. I'm exhausted.
They brought in Zavok and upped the ante. We need to make our move.
What move? We don't have any moves yet. I'm not worried about Zavok. We beat him before, we'll beat him again.
We still don't know what they want from us, or what their endgame is. We don't even know who the bad guy is in all this.
It's always Eggman. It's just a matter of who else is involved. We need to stay strong and keep racing.
I'm going to need a vacation after all this.
We can go fishing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sand Road. Sorry for a little bit of a spelling error and stuff like that, because again, if I see something small when it comes to like recording certain things, sometimes it is so damn hard to see whenever I was trying to able to see some game infos and stuff like that, but oh well, it's not that much of a big of a deal for my book. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with Sand Road, and this time around everything else is completely mirrored. So hopefully I should be able to actually just win this, and as you can see on screen, I'm now going to be playing as Knuckles. So because it has been a really long while since we actually played as Knuckles in the forms of you know, Team Adventure mode and stuff like that, but hopefully, as I said this to you guys earlier, won't give us any that much trouble as I've hoped. Well, right from when I say that, then otherwise I'm also able to get myself a bit screwed over by those, you know, overpowered computer players sometimes if they manage to use the actual, you know, the Team Ultimate ability, that it just makes everything else a little bit unfair for my liking, for my taste. Even then though, because of how the fact that, well, it's because I'm used to with the All-Star moves from the likes of Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, as well as, you know, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, because I'm used to with the forms of the All-Star moves between these two games, because that way, at least I don't even just try to able to use it too much, because the only time it usually happens is when I'm usually lower than 10th place or something, or to be more specifically, lower than 8th place, or usually in terms of 6th place if you manage to play through, well, let's just say if you manage to get into like 1st to 10th place in the console versions, basically you get yourselves an all-star move, and then on the forms of the PlayStation Vita, as well as the Nintendo 3DS versions, if you manage to go lower than that, you get yourselves an all-star move on the handheld version. So, I'm not exactly sure about the iOS version or something like that, because then again, it has been a long time since I actually looked upon the iOS version of Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed and stuff like that. So, but anyways, as far as you guys should already know is the fact that recently Sonic & Knuckles has recently started their Let's Plays of Super Smash Bros. Or to be more specifically, a redo Let's Play of that game. Because it seems pretty obvious, because they want to improve a lot more better quality, like it all to stretch out and everything, and also just manage to fit in one particular screen. And also the actual sound mixing has been significantly better than the forms of how it does it back in 2015. And, well, usually despite the fact that our old original Let's Play of Super Smash Bros. From Nintendo 64, as far as I'm usually going to discuss upon, usually it's no longer there on our channel because, you know, it's been replaced by a brand new one. So, at least we're glad that we actually get ourselves a really good start in terms of, to be more specifically, some redo Let's Plays in that particular time. So, at least to be more specifically though, is the fact that both of these games that usually we're going to be doing for the majority of this month, or to be more specifically, possibility it will end possibly until the final month of this godforsaken year. Usually, relatively speaking, that you know how Sonic & Knuckles are doing Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64, and, you know, recently Sylvester, he's now going to be doing his redo Let's Play of Mario Party 2. that means there are both Nintendo 64 games Let's Play, so that's pretty swell, I have to say. Especially noticeable how the fact that both of those games are super fun. Even most Mario Party fans out there that they expect to believe that Mario Party 2 is the best game in terms of the N64 Mario Party games trilogy-wise. So, yeah, which I can totally see that, because usually, as far as what Duffy has already mentioned about this ever since in his Let's Play of Mario Party 2 recently, since Junior forms of on Saturday or Sunday, then you guys should know what I'm able to talk about. So, anyways, since we have managed to win this after all, who just managed to beat, oh, of course, it's always gonna be Team Rose. It's always gonna be freaking Team Rose they're might as well able to decide to catch up. In fact, relatively speaking, when it comes to Team Rose, I think we should probably seemingly to say that we're definitely gonna play as them team until at some point on the next mission.
Events are unfolding beautifully. The race is heating up, and I am getting everything I could have hoped for, and more. My plans always go off without a hitch.
Oh, looks like we have the Donphan is making its comeback now. And of course, I seem to able to actually fail the key challenge, which actually requires me to never use the Wisp items, which I'm gonna say that right now, it is definitely impossible for sure. So anyways, let's go ahead and play as Amy Rose on Team Rose here. And here we go on to this next mission, which is of course takes place in Sky Road to deal with the team race. And ironically enough, it doesn't have the actual the cinematic cutscene or anything like that, which seems kind of strange, but hey, at least it's something alright. So I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this as well is that usually you notice how the fact that the Black Friday sales is still going up until specifically by at some point in the 19th of November, the day before, let's just say, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is going to be releasing at some point. Relatively speaking, is the fact that the Black Friday sales in terms of the American sales in terms of the Black Fridays. Recently, they're going to be selling the Nintendo Switch console Neon Blue and Neon Red edition. In addition with that, they're going to be able to actually just to bring out not only Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as a free full game download, which, you know, needs to be downloaded by the way, but also it actually able to actually giving you 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online membership service, which it's actually a pretty good deal, even though about the fact that I can definitely tell that most customers might be so desperate to able to actually get that particular Nintendo Switch bundle, specifically in America. Although, unfortunately though, you can't go out physically at the moment just because, well, it's just a fact that with every single shop has been closed. So, I understand with the forms of need to be safety and stuff like that. Well, I keep on thinking about the ones we're actually in right now, which is the ones in the UK, but either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves because we're not going to talk about things negatively, because we're going to be talking about something completely positive and stuff. So, oh yeah, another thing I should probably talk about this as well is the fact that during the forms of, eventually at this point until this Friday, obviously we're going to be releasing, or we're going to have ourselves our brand new Kingdom Hearts game at some point this week, which is of course Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory for the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One. I'm not exactly sure about the PC Steam version, but it's just specifically 3 versions as for this point, which, yeah, I've no idea why they just never seemed able to release the PC ports or anything like that, unless if you want to count the emulation, but usually relatively speaking, I don't classify for counting that, personally, so obviously, with that particular game for Melody of Memory, obviously if you couldn't tell from the trailer, the first ever trailer announcement, obviously they were able to actually include 140 tracks in total, which some songs comes from the forms of the original Kingdom Hearts, as well as some of them from the Final Mix version, and also Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, and also Kingdom Hearts 2, as well as Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix as well, and even Kingdom Hearts 358/2 Days, and also Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and Kingdom Hearts Recoded, Kingdom Hearts 3D, or in this case Dream Drop Distance, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage, and also Kingdom Hearts 3, and also Kingdom Hearts Orchestra World Tour album, Piano Collections Kingdom Hearts, Piano Collections Kingdom Hearts Field and Battle, and finally other titles, which it kind of surprised me because even then though, I first thought it was going to be more specifically focusing on, you know, the Kingdom Hearts series in general in terms of the actual soundtrack album, but it turns out they're actually going to be featuring some other tracks even as well. Gee, I wonder. Even though I'm pretty sadly to tell you for this point, guys, it's going to be a spoiled hefe, thanks to the forms of certain websites they've already sort of slightly mentioned about this, which obviously let's get on to the actual the first Kingdom Hearts game as far as musical tracks they're going to be included. First one is of course Dive Into the Heart, Destiny, Destiny Islands, Bursting Up on the Beach, or Blistering or Bustering Up on the Beach, Kyrie 1, and Night of Fate, Destiny's Force, Traverse Town, Surrounded Dark Cloud, Welcome to Wonderland, To Our Surprise, Olympus Coliseum, Go For It, Squimmling Evil, Hand in Hand, A Day in Agrabah, Arabian Dream, A Very Small Wish, Monstrous Monstro, Under the Sea, An Adventure in Atlantica, This Is Halloween, Spooks of Halloween Town, Captain Hook's Pirate Ship, Pirates Gune, or I can't really pronounce that very well for this point, guys, I have to be honest here. Hollow Bastion, Skurozo di Nato, which I do apologize for that pronunciation error. End of the World, not to be confused as End of the World from Sonic 06, but I'm not talking about the Sonic 06 version of that particular similar name. I'm talking about the Kingdom Hearts version. Fragments of Shoro, and Gardeno Libano, and Simple and Clean. And as far as Final Mix and Variation is concerned, they only contain 2 of them, which is One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII, oh jeez, that's gonna be pretty tough, and also Other Side, or Another Side, as far as I like to say. For Rechain of Memories, they contain 5 songs, which there are The Force in You, Nane, Castle Oblivion, Forgotten Challenge, and Lord of the Castle. Although there's also some Kingdom Hearts 2 songs, which I think I should probably talk about that in just a moment, because as you can see, we've now managed to complete that particular challenge. For the sake of time, let's do 2 more, and that will be it for the sake of this video. So here we go on to the next team race, but this time around though, it's going to take place in Clockwork Pyramid.
That's it! I'm done racing for this old man. I want some answers, and I want them now. Tell us what's going on, Tanuki, or you're going down!
The angry Echidna is showing his true colors. Interesting.
Cool your jets, Knuckles. I just got the report from Espio about who Dodonpa really is.
Well, tell us!
It says here Dodonpa is the president of Donpa Motors?
They're the biggest automobile corporation in the universe.
There's more. He's also the king of a planet called Donpa Kingdom. Huh. I did not see that coming.
I told you he was nice, and he's a king. Those are both good, right?
And yes, I do reject the fact that since we've already been into this place before, ever since in Journey forms of Egg Pond Assault kind of challenges, but now we're going to be doing a proper race in Journey forms of Clockwork Pyramid, and as far as I can gather is the fact that this obviously takes place in a desert-themed selections of tracks. Like we've already experienced Sand Road as well as Boo's House, and now we're going to be ended up in the Clockwork Pyramid. So in fact, this particular bit reminds me of something. It reminds me of so much of one of those stages in Journey Forms of Sonic Forces, which I know it has been a long while, or essentially a very long time, since I actually did play Sonic Forces in, let's just say on the Switch or the PS4 versions, because despite I'm still slightly disappointed with that particular game, but I still find the game to be okay, but not the best I've played. I still prefer playing, you know, Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations, or even Sonic Unleashed for the HD counterpart of that particular game of Mario, because, you know, those games are considerably a lot more funner, at least in my opinion. But either way though, and also same applies to Sonic Mania and Sonic Mania Plus as well, if you want to include, you know, some DLC expansions, if you want to able to be more specific with that. So, but either way though, enough about that. As far as the actual tracks list, in terms of Kingdom Hearts 2, they might as well include, those are Centuriore, the opening version of that specific song, and also Lazy Afternoons, based off from Twilight Town, from Roxas' scenario, and Sinister Sundown, and even Tension Rising, and the 13th Struggler, or Struggle as far as I like to say, and Roxas, Sora, The Afternoon Streets, Working Together, Magical Mystery, Reviving Hollow Bastion, and the same Skashunu Dai Note, or something like that, from Kingdom Hearts 2, Despair for All That Is Lost, and Waltz of the Damned, Dancing of the Darling, The Home of Dragons, Fields of Honor, Ben and Fico, The Underworld, What Lies Beneath, and Wonderly Rumble, Monochrome Dreams, Old Friends, Old Rivals, Part of Your World, Adventures Are in the Savannah, and there's also Savannah Pride, Space Paranoids, and Bite Bashing, Sinister Shadows, the 13th Dilemma, or Dilemma, as far as I like to pronounce that very well, Scared Moon, Deep Drive, Riku, Darkness of the Unknown. And as far as the final mix of variations is concerned, it obviously includes What a Surprise, Happy Holidays, The Another Promise, Rage Awakened, and Fate of the Unknown. And as far as the musical tracks they're able to include in 358/2 days, which there are Meseku por la Tasno di Shion, which I have no idea why I pronounced that mistakenly, and also they include Secret of Neverland, Crossing to Neverland, Fight and Away, Vector of the Heavens, and Other Side Battle version. And as far as the musical tracks they might as well include in Birth by Sleep, which there are The Promised Beginning, Future Masters, Terror, The Secret Whispers, Risky Romp, and there's also Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, Castle Escape Aid, The Silent Forest, The Rustling Forest, The Tumbling, Ventus, Enter the Darkness, Radiant Garden, Black Powder, The Encounter, Birth by Sleep version, Mickey Mouse March, Up Down Adventure, Ola, and Mako Mako. I can't really pronounce those very well. I do apologize for that for this point, folks. Daydream Upon Neverland, Skauzu, and Rage Awakening The Origin, or yeah, just Origin itself, and Aqua and Dismiss. And as far as recoded music selection goes, they've got Wonder of Election, or Electron, and No More Bugs. It's just only like 2 tracks. And as far as Dream Drop Distance, as far as I'm concerned, they include Traverse in Terrace, or Trends, Hand to Hand, Cooling Kingdom Mix, Last Century, and La Tro. I can't really pronounce those very well. Majestic Wings, Access the Grid, Digital Domination, The Fun Fair, Prankster's Party, One for All, and One for All, Scatter's Distance, Deep Drop, and Luke Haslodine like not, which I do apologize for those spelling errors. And also Lemtu Koskor, I can't pronounce that very well. I think those two are from, I don't know if it's like Fantasia or something, but then again, no, it has been a while since I actually researched on specific stuff. And also the Eye of Darkness. And as far as the Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage, they only include one song, which is Wave of Darkness 1. So, yeah, that's as far as I can usually think about that. But before we get on to more details about this, and we win the race.
It's good to know you're not on Eggman's side.
Sides? I am on no sides and on all sides. I only want perfection.
And let's see the actual results we got. We obviously got not only all 3 stars, but also a key as well. Which meaning about the fact that I didn't seem able to get hurt by anything. To be more specifically, some items, and even in forms of stunned fails most of the time. So, anyway, so let's get to it with the, oh for goodness sake, the Daredevil missions. God, I hate those so much.
Okay, so you're the president of an automotive corporation. But why are you holding these races? And why did you invite us so secretively?
Very simple, little girl bat. We are creating the fastest, most powerful engine in the universe. I'm calling it the Ultimate Energy Engine. Very secret, very hush-hush.
Don't you have facilities and people to do these races?
If you want the best, you need help from the best. Hence, you and your friends.
How very sweet of you to say so. One more question. Since you're a king and everything, do you have a crown covered with jewels and a treasure vault filled with precious gems?
Of course. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason, sugar.
And this might actually be my last mission I'll do for the sake of this video, so... Anyways, as far as musical tracks they will include for Kingdom Hearts 3, which there are You've Got a Friend in Me, the Kingdom Hearts 3 version, Happy Hair Day, Monster Smash, Let It Go, because that's the most popular song in Frozen, Robot Overdrive, and Graveyard Labyrinth, Rise of the Union, and even Don't Think Twice. And as far as the forms of Kingdom Hearts Orchestra World Tour album, they only include one song, which is Destiny, and Piano Collection's Kingdom Hearts, which obviously includes Hand in Hand, Working Together, Elite Growth, Veyes, and Sora as in Ulrigo Con Brio, and Piano Collections on Kingdom Hearts Field and Battle only contains one, which is of course Melody of Conflict. And finally is the other titles, which there are 3 of them actually, which is actually based off from the best Disney Resonance film era, which appears to be by the films, let's just say, from Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and of course, The Lion King. What do I mean by that? Well, the songs are included on the other titles, which there are. From Beauty and the Beast was obviously Beauty and the Beast, and as far as Aladdin is concerned, A Whole New World, and finally for The Lion King, The Circle of Life, which I'm gonna say, those are really good selections of those songs basically, especially how, oh please can I even make it please? Did I make it? Yes, I think I have. And I have no idea why I just smashed the pause there for a moment ago, because I almost assumed that I was about to be giving up on those specific mission types like these. But, luckily for me, I managed to able to accomplish it, so thank goodness we don't have to deal with that again.
The telemetrics I intercepted must be part of your research and development.
Of course. One cannot create something without information, and I have gathered much information from your races.
Have you?
Indeed, the energies generated from your teamwork are astonishingly powerful and key to the creation of my ultimate energy engine.
Well, that's good to know.
And, yeah, that's as far as I can usually think about this. So, now of course we still got that particular... Oh no, another Daredevil mission again. Oh jeez, we'll save that until maybe for next time. So, speaking of such, next time of more of Let's Play of Team Sonic Racing is that we're going to be still continuing things on in Chapter 6, to able to actually get even more stars and complete certain missions. So I'll see you guys in this first day. Later, fellas.